Hello Lolas, welcome back to my channel guys. So I am here with Brooklyn. Some of you guys may or may not remember Brooklyn. She is a baby that was painted by me and rooted by a special rooter friend. And I just wanted to show her because I got her dressed this morning. I had made long videos, some about different topics, and I decided not to really I didn't want to upload them. I felt like it was a little bit much. You know, sometimes I can be a little unhinged, and so I didn't really get into it, but I might talk about it, just a few things briefly, because it's a topic that I feel like is worth bringing up from time to time. I have a couple people that I follow, one in particular that makes a big deal about when collectors get like these big name prototype artists work, and that are actually doing really good work, that their pictures aren't photoshopped or edited or anything like that. Their work is actually really good. But then when the collector gets it, and they take the pictures, the doll doesn't look good at all. And she always be like, oh my gosh, if I was the artist, I would be so upset. For me as an artist, I care more about what the doll actually looked like in person than what it does on photograph. Don't get me wrong, yeah, sometimes it is a little cringy because you're like, oh God, people probably think, you know, my pictures are, you know, edited or photoshopped or whatever. But at the same time, I feel like your reputation and your work will speak for itself. So your customer base who have seen your work in person, who's gotten your work in person, will definitely know, you know, okay, this is, you know, her quality of work or whatever. Not everybody got time to sit and, you know, set up all these lights and open up blinds and run around the house like crazy. We just want to share our dolls and have fun as collectors. I'm speaking as a collector right now. When I first started out, I did not paint at all. I didn't paint Reborns. I didn't paint silicone. And then there was a time frame when I only painted Reborns and I didn't paint silicone. And I feel like with this hobby, no matter how well we take the pictures, how less we take the pictures, you still are not going to really be able to tell what you're getting until you get it. That's the downside of online shopping with this type of product. And there's more to our dolls than just photo. You also have the textures. You have the when it's silicone, the way that it feels, the way that it moves, the way that it falls. Is it cuddly? Is it soft? Is it hard to break? You know, we have all these different things. And so I came across a post and they were saying that they want to require that moving forward, when they get ready to buy a doll, that the artist, the professional artist, take regular like cell phone pictures versus using a professional camera. And the only thing I want to say about that, instead of a whole 30-minute video talking about the whole da 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 da, the only thing I want you guys to consider and think about when you say that is that our job as an artist is to, especially prototype artists, is to sell the kit first. But when they're selling a doll, I feel like the artist, if they feel like their pictures are very much off from the real product because they were just doing marketing photos, then yes, they should provide a second set of photos that will show closer to what the doll actually looks like. Otherwise, I'm not going to say that they need to be phone pictures, because phone pictures a lot of times, you have to work really hard to get them to look decent. And some of you guys do an amazing job with it. But you don't get to see the details. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't care about the details, but most of us avid collectors, we care about the details. We want to know if that baby has beautiful mottling, or is it blotchy, or is it, is it veins sitting on top of the skin, or if his veins look like they're underneath, like realistically. That's why we want clear and precise pictures. And me as an artist, personally, I'm not going to send no half-assed phone pictures to satisfy nobody, because those pictures are then floating out there into space, and people, they gonna, people, it's just like when you sell a boo-boo doll and you tell the customer this is a boo-boo doll, and then when they resell it, they don't tell the next person that they bought it as a boo-boo doll, because they didn't feel like it was a boo-boo doll, or it was a less than perfect doll, or they got it for a discounted price because the artist didn't feel like it was their best work. Well, once it go out there as if it's their best work, people start to say, well, I had one of her dolls and it wasn't all that. But they don't even know that that doll was sold at a significantly lower price based off of that. So that's why a lot of artists are probably not going to be so out to do that. And if an artist is a prototype artist and a very high-end artist, they don't have to. That's the sad reality of it. I know that sounds cocky. I know that sounds bad, but they don't have to, because there's going to be plenty other people in line to buy that same doll that's not going to ask that customer, that artist, to jump through a ring of fire. So a lot of times that just leaves you in a place where, and I know if you got an attitude like me, I'd be like, well, fine, then I'll go to another artist. You know what I mean? But, and that's why a lot of collectors, you see a lot of collectors kind of keep sticking to the same artist over and over and over again. It's because they've developed relationship with that artist, and they also kind of gotten familiar with their work. So they know what their weak points are. They know what their strengths are, according to their likeness, because what I consider a weakness and what you consider a weakness may not be the same, because some stuff is way more important to me that may not be important to you. So that's why I say that, into their likeness. But they stick to those same artists because they are scared to take that risk with someone else. Now, I wanted to just say this, and I know I'm dragging it out, but I really wanted to say this, and don't get stuck on the bubblegum. The main thing I want to say is, it's not about what device an artist use, it's about integrity. If you feel like you got a doll and it looked totally different from the photos that you've seen, then guess what? Maybe if those photos, you felt like those photos were doctored up, they can do the same thing with phone pictures. I see people edit babies all the time, their photos all the time, and make the doll look better than what it is. All the time. Collectors do it. I see artists doing it. And so there's that. And there's also, like, I mentioned in the other video, I've seen an artist that take nothing but phone pictures that's highly filtered, and all she does is use filters. And if it was based off of her photos that she used, and she's making big money, I would not buy her work. I would not. But because I've seen her work in person at a doll show before, I probably would take a chance on her work, because I know that her photos are highly filtered and they look way worse than her work. Her work is actually beautiful, but those pictures that she be doing just ain't it. And then on the flip side, I've seen another artist that constantly gets a lot of business that takes highly saturated, filtered, doctored photos, and I got her work and I was not excited about it. at all. It was highly detailed and everything, but I just didn't, the coloring of it just wasn't for me. It was just a whole bunch of red. And the photos that they take doesn't really necessarily show that. So, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's not on purpose. It's not in the intent to bamboozle someone. Lighting, just a whole bunch of things play a lot of part. I know for me, when I take phone pictures of my babies, because of the amount of colors that I use within painting my babies, they don't look so hot unless I have to really, really put the right lights on them. And sometimes it takes me days to figure out what lighting is best to photograph the baby to get it as close to what the baby looked like in person. But I do try hard to do that. So anyway, that was one thing. The other thing that I'm summing 2 30-minute videos up into one video. The other thing was I was talking about is rude artists and sculptors, and a couple things happened to me twice with me reaching out to a sculptor about a kit that they had, and they were pretty rude. And then, well, one sculptor and then one artist, a big time artist that I really had on my list. She was definitely on my wish list as one that I really wanted to get work. But she was so rude. When all I did was respond to her story. And I'm not going to say she was so rude, okay? Because I'm going to just say this. I don't like when these big name artists feel like they're gods and we should worship them. And like, basically she was telling me I need to speak to her first. And it wasn't like I reached out to say, you know, how much is a doll or anything like that. She had asked a question on her storyline and I just responded to it with, you know, oh, well, what baby is this? Because she was like, guess who this is? And I'm just quick text, send a message, because I'm working with my hands as well as she is. And she was like, say hello first. And I'm like, baby, I am grown as baby, no. And it reminded me of the time, and this is a personal story, and y'all can say what y'all want to say, and y'all know where I get it from. It reminded me of the time sitting in church with my grandmother, and one of the ushers came and put her hand out in front of my grandmother's mouth for her to spit out her gum. And my grandmother said, you better move your goddamn hand. In the church. I was like, yes, baby. Girl, cause what? And I snatch your wig off. You better know it. No, just like, okay, I wasn't there about it. I wasn't rowdy like that. But I was just like, my eyes got so big. And then my grandma kept her gum in her mouth, and the lady came back and she was like, tapped her, and she said, my grandma turned around to her, and my grandma had a very soft voice. And she looked back at her and she said, if you put your hands on me one more time. Baby, that lady got up from, she didn't come back to my grandma no more, baby. But when I tell you, baby, listen, honey. And that's what it made. I don't know why. When she said, say hello first, I was like, girl, what? You don't know who I am? Like, I want y'all to realize that y'all are, it's not just like, ooh, I'm Miss Serenity Smith. No, it's not that. It's just that you guys need to understand that you are important. Do they not understand that the collectors pay their bills? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I was reading another post and a sculptor was like being super rude, laughing emojis at this lady, saying that, okay, thank you. It's more than what I want to spend at this time. And, she was very polite. She didn't leave her like hanging once she told her the price or nothing like that. And she laughed, and then she said, oh, I'm sure that was a accident, the laughing emoji or whatever. And she was like, no, it wasn't, and blah 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 blah, and all this and stuff. And this was an avid collector. Like, she could have been one of your collectors that kept coming back and back and back and back and back and back. Like, you doing too much. Like, you do know that this cancel culture is so real. Like, I was like, oh, I almost felt bad that I had one of her scopes, because I was like, why you did that? But yeah, we have to remember that who pays our bills. And not that, you know, it's everybody's sole income. And maybe it doesn't really pay your bill. Maybe, okay, so what? Because people like to say, oh, baby, I'll be all right if I don't get paid. Well, then why you selling them? Why you selling them then? Because, baby, y'all be acting like, baby, no, listen, baby, I need my lights. And that cat stuck up in the tree, and he got Cadillacs in his eyes and a displaced toe. Yes, baby, listen, I love you. Thank you. Please, I need the money. We ain't finna play them kind of games like we all that. That's the attitude a lot of people have. They act like, and what happens is, because they have their clientele and their regulars that's gonna buy from them. But here's the thing. You gotta remember, there is a time where people buy so many dolls to where they start slowing down or they stop because their collection is full. You're gonna need new customers. So you can't just say, oh, I got my regular customers, and just treat everybody like crap. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes these collectors come in your inbox, they be coming at you all hard. Like you not an individual, like you not human, and think they can talk to you and do you any kind of way because the customer is always right. Baby, this is not Walmart. I'm in the comforts of my own house. I will cuss you out respectfully. Like, you know what I mean? So it worked both ways. And then the other problem is that we don't know the journey and the walk that each individual have had. So if this customer is used to people bamboozling her with pictures and never getting it right when she gets a doll, and now she wants extra proof to be extra safe and secure in her investment because these dolls are not cheap. I understand it. I get it. If that is her story, even if it ain't, it's her prerogative. It's her money. But at the same time, if this artist has, on the other end, not on that story, on if this artist has constantly had people, you know, trying to hassle her, talk down her prices, tell her dolls ain't worth it, and when she know what her worth is, because she's not a big brand name, so they're trying to like just really like hard, you know, what do you call it? I don't know, just keep trying to knock her prices down and stuff because, oh, you're not this big name that everybody's talking about, so you can't, your work can't be that well. Because there comes a time where that does happen, where there are like newer artists that work is really, really good, but because they don't have this big name that everybody's shouting out and showing them, celebrating, people feel like they shouldn't get what their dolls are worth. And if it's not their sole income and they don't need that doll to sell for them to eat, they just might be like 2 peas in a bucket. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but if we don't know that story, we don't know why she came back so rough. You know what I mean? We don't know what happened in the course of a day, but we need to give each other grace, and we need to be mindful of how things go. Now, this is me sometime. Now, catch me on a bad day, baby, I don't know. But this is me sometime. Like, my response to that lady was, please, I was just responding to your story. But like, sometime I might say, I could have responded to them and said, hey, you know what? I was just quick texting. Thought it was okay to just respond to your text, to your question. But good morning, how you doing? But I wasn't in that type of mood. Because girl, what? I'm 45 years old, baby, what? So, you know, sometimes I will be like very breakdown and explain. Sometimes it's just like, I can't. You know, now don't get me wrong. When people message me and they just be like, how much? With a question mark. I don't know what they talking about. Sometimes I don't even, or they just price, question mark. I don't even respond to them sometimes, or sometimes I'll say, which doll? You know what I mean? This is just me personally. I don't particularly care if you ask me how I am doing, because I know that 95%, and that might be, it might be higher than that, really don't give a rat's ass how I'm doing, to be honest. They really just want to know what's going on with the doll. I guess it's just common courtesy. You know, just a quick story. My grandparents always came over for storms. So they're over here for a storm. They've been here for a couple days. It was a really bad one. And they were here for, you know, a couple days, whatever. But the first night they spent the night, my kids came down the stairs and they were like, you know, grandma, you ate, granddaddy, you ate, you know, da da da. They just start talking. And my grandfather was like, you don't know how to say good morning? And they was like, yes, sir. And they were looking so confused, and it was like, and he was like, yeah, he was like, you know, he was like, you don't just walk in the room and don't say good morning and this and that. And they was like, well, okay. And so when I came downstairs, I got in trouble for them because, you know, they raised me. So they're like, yeah, you need to teach your kids, they need to speak, da da. And I'm like, well, you know, granddaddy, when we, you know, she was like, y'all don't speak to each other in the house? And I'm like, no, because we live together and we see each other. When we just come downstairs and just start talking, you know, we don't do that. And like, even with some of my friends that I talk to all the time, I just start messaging them. I don't be like, oh, hey, how you doing? What's going on in your life? Da 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 da. But, you know, I get it. Some people, you know, different walks of life. Now, if I'm out and about and I go into a store or I go into your house, I come to your house, I'm going to say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm going to greet you because I didn't wake up with you. In that case, I felt like, you know, when I'm in the house with my own kids and my grandparents spent the night, we woke up together, basically. You know what I mean? So I guess, you know, tomatoes, but just the way that you word things, be careful with that, because you can run off really good customers by feeling like you're some type of God that people need to worship, and people need to be going through the 3 steps of the amendments of artistry. I don't know. I'm making up stuff. Because, baby, what? You need to say hello first. Baby, what you talking about, Willis? But yeah, anyway, so that's that. And I'm saying this, and the whole time I'm saying this, I know it's gonna be some people like, well, she was rude to me, because probably you came at me rude, or probably we got a history. Because baby, if you message me about every single doll, the same thing, and I keep telling you the same thing, and you keep trying to see if it's gonna change, it's not. And if I put the post up and I put the price in there, and then you message me, and then you like, well, how much is it? And I know when I put this up here, everybody gonna do that anyway, but I don't got nothing for sale right now. No. Oh, I do Harmony. But yeah, I did this, my crier. I am probably going to sell her, but I don't know. When I get my paycheck, I might not. I might take it down. Anyway, but that's it. And dang, I was supposed to show you guys. Let me show you guys her little hair. I was confused, like, hold on. I didn't know what I was going to do with her hair. I be liking her hair. Let me show you. Let me see. I be liking her hair to be like just bushed out. So I just put like a little bit of ponytails in there or whatever. And I was going to put a little bow up there, but I didn't. And she got on this little smock dress. I want to say that Dawn sent me this for Lizzie years back, and it's been in there. It's got the little bloomers under there. Oh my gosh, and she looks so sweet in it. And I just wanted to also let y'all know that she is absolutely my favorite baby. She is my favorite baby. And that's so funny because I consider her less than perfect, which is why I will never sell her. I wouldn't sell her because her modeling, to me, it has almost a, to me, it has a gritty look to it a little bit on her arms a little bit. And I don't like it. And it was because the kit, I had to mat it first, and working with this new mat, I didn't really realize how much you have to really thin it down at the time. So I have another kit. I'm gonna paint another one, but it's for myself. But just because I'm now, I feel like I have to challenge myself to master it. But her skin tone and everything came out really, really nice, and I love her hands, and I love the bottom of her feet, and I love her face. And her face don't have the grittiness to it either. So I knew that, and I was like, I'm sending her off to get rooted. That's how much I didn't care about what her imperfections was, because I paid big time money for her to get her hair rooted. Being her head so big, I didn't care, because I knew that she was a baby that I wanted to keep. And I am so surprised with myself, because for one, I'm not usually into really fat babies, and two, I'm not a really toddler mom. But I absolutely love and adore her so much. It's crazy. I was gonna get her dressed, try to get her dressed on camera, but that's always like so hard for me with my toddlers, because I don't know. It just seemed like it's a lot of work to try to do. But this is her, and her inside, her hand color came out so good. Like, there's just things about her that I just really love, and the rooter did an amazing job on her hair. But that's not the part for me. Like I told y'all before, she's such a comfort baby because she's so cuddly, and I hold her a lot. And I love to see her like posed, but okay, I'm not doing a good job right now. I'm not doing a good job. But anyway, let me go. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Look at her. That is not a good pose, baby. That look a hot mess, but y'all will be all right.